In this video, guys, I'm going to do a quick skin edit on this model right here using AI and a few of the actions from Tamara Williams, just to show you what the final result is like when you use AI combined with an action. All right, guys, and it also helps you to move a lot faster with your workflow. Let's get into the video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the retouch for me, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a portrait volume because I don't want to add that depth just yet because I want to do a small amount of dodging and burning manually, but I'm going to let AI do the beginning of this edit. So all I'm going to do now, I'm just going to go through. All right, so now that we have our image pretty much edited for us, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to merge the layer on top. Just gonna merge it. All right, so once that is done now, guys, I'm gonna now work on the small little package that the AI actually missed. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go to the Tamara Williams action, and I'm just gonna go to the frequency separation, and I'm just gonna go here and do that. All right, so once that is done now, guys, I'm gonna use my clone stamp tool. I'm just gonna go in and I'm just gonna remove. Make sure that you're on current layer, guys, and just remove. I'll try not to do everything. I'm just gonna do just enough just to clean up this image a little bit more. What I'm doing, guys, because I know not everybody has a Wacom tablet, I'm actually just using my mouse for this one, so you probably hear the little clicking in the background. All right, so I'm just going to speed this video ahead. Alright, so I think we have done enough for this particular section of the video. You can see the before and after, nothing crazy. Alright, so now that we have done that now, guys, what I want to do now is I want to bring out her eyes a little bit more, and I want to also do her brow and her lips. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to merge the layer one more time. Once I merge a layer now, I'm going to, like I mentioned before, I'm using a Tamara Williams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the iris. And once the iris is done, what I want to do now is pretty much I want to change the color of the eyes a little bit. Just make it pop a little bit more. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on the highlights and I'm just going to paint like so. I'm going to paint over here as well. That looks good. Don't worry if it came over a little bit on top, that's fine. I'm just going to come over here too, and I'm just going to do the same. I know it looks crazy now, guys, but bear with me. So what I'm going to do now, press V on the keyboard. I'm just going to put in 30. So you lower the opacity, and over here, I'm just going to put it at 40. So let's see. All right, cool. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just select my brush one more time. I'm gonna select my brush, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna paint over the area that went over too much. So all I'm gonna do now is just paint it with black. Press X on the keyboard to switch the color, and I'm just painting with black, guys. And that's looking pretty good. Still a little strong, guys. All I'm gonna do now, let's look at the before and after. So you see that little pop? I'm gonna take the yellow down to about 20. And I think that's looking a lot better now, guys. A little bit more natural. It's not too much. All right, so once that is done now, I'm gonna collapse that layer. And now I'm gonna go back to, and I'm gonna go and use lips. My lips are right there, and all I'm gonna do now, what I'm pretty much doing, I saved some color numbers here. You guys can copy that, and that's like that. And then now, all I'm gonna do is just paint over her lips, just like that. So we're going to come here to this one. I'm going to just click on the whites. So we're just trying to bring the whites in. I'm just going to separate it just like that, so that it looks a lot more natural. And I think that's looking really good. What I'm going to do also is I want to just lower the opacity on this particular layer. I'm going to go about maybe 40. So just give it a nice little pink. And the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back to the main mask on my brush. I'm just going to sharpen my brush a little bit, and then all I'm going to do is just kind of flip it to black. I'm just going to take away, I'm just kind of straightening those. Like what I'm doing, guys, is I'm just holding down the shift key and I'm just straightening up the lines a little bit. So what you do, pretty much you just dab and you just go like that while holding down the shift key. And that looks pretty good, if you ask me. So all I'm going to do now is I can just create a little bit of feathering. I'm just going to soften those edges a little bit now, so it looks a little bit more natural. And I think that looks really good, guys. Let's look at the before, after, before, and after. And that looks pretty good, guys. I don't think I want to add this, but if I should, I'm just going to bring it down to like 10%. What that does is just gives a little bit of pink highlight in there. And I'm just going to separate it just a bit and separate it this just a bit. And I think that looks pretty good. Pretty natural. And if you think it's a little bit too strong, you can always bring this down. So let's say I bring it down to about 70%. And let's look at the before, after. And I think that looks really good, guys. So that's looking really nice, guys. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the brow. So I'm just going to go and click on the main layer, the top layer, cancel that, and then click on brow. So what it's saying now is that you're going to pick a color that you want. I'm just going to pick this color right here, make it just a tad bit darker. And once that is done, I'm just going to select. I just dab with my mouse for 3 times, and I'm going to create another layer. I'm going to do the same thing, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually flip it. All right, not that one. Let's flip it this way. And then I'm just going to dab 3 times once more. 1, 2, 3. And that's looking pretty good. Let's look at the before and after. And if I want to make any adjustment, all I do is just press Command T on the keyboard. I'm going to enlarge it a little bit here, and do a little bit there. And now we can just click on the warp tool and just kind of shape it up just a little bit. And I think that looks really good. Let's do that to the right side as well. I'm going to increase the size a little bit, increase the size over here. And I think that looks really good, guys. Let's click on the warp and just kind of bring that up just a bit. And if you want to make it look a little bit more natural, guys, you double click on the layer. And what you're doing now is just taking it a little bit away from the black so you get some of the colors from below to come through. And you press on the Alt key on the keyboard or Option key, and you just kind of separate it as much as possible, just to bring back the natural effect, or should I say the natural hair from below, so that you have some of the natural hair seeping through the main one. And if you want to just copy this over to here, you just hold down the Option or Command key and just drag it over, and it's just like that. All right, so you're looking at it now, guys. This is where we came from, this is where we are right now, and I think that's looking really good, guys. So what I want to do now is I'm going to add the volume to the actual picture now. So I'm going to merge the layer one more time, go back to retouch from me. All I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything else, unselect everything else but the portrait volume. And I'm going to bring this portrait volume to about 40. I'm doing a little bit extra, guys, because I want you guys to actually see what it actually looks like. And all I'm going to do is click on retouch. And that's looking really good if I say so myself. So if I do this now, before, after, before, after. That's looking really good. Before, after, after. So what I'll do now, guys, I'm going to merge these two layers, put it into a group rather, and I'm going to create a mask. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold on the Option key on the keyboard and click on the mask, and what that does is takes away all the effects that we just did. I'm going to right click and then just select my normal brush and make sure that my opacity is at 100%. All I'm going to do now is just X on the keyboard to switch between the colors. I'm going to make sure it's white, and all I'm going to do is just paint on the effect now on the model, just like that. And I think that's looking really good, guys. It even added a little bit pop to the eyes as well. And I don't like this shadow right here, so all I'm going to do, I'm going to paint back with black and just take this away from the neck. And I think that looks really good. I'm going to paint a little bit on the arm right here and paint some over here as well. And we have come a really far way, guys. Let's look at the before, after, before, after. I don't like how strong this is, so I'm going to put the opacity to about 50%. And all I'm going to do is just paint with black. I'm just going to paint it away a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing over here. And that looks a lot better now, guys. Let me know what you guys think. So the next thing I'm going to do now, guys, is I want to sharpen the image a little bit more. So all I'm going to do is just going to do a merge one more time and then press J, Control J on the keyboard or Command J on the keyboard. And then what I'm going to do now, I'm going to say Command I to do an invert. You know, it looks weird now, guys. And then I'm going to go here and I say Vivid Light. It looks crazy, but you're not seeing anything right now. All I'm going to do now, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to convert it to a smart layer. And now what I'll do is I go to Filter one more time, go to Blur, then Gaussian Blur. And you'll see it start coming in. I'm going to put it at about 3. And now I'm going to click on both layers and put it to a group and then change this to overlay. So you can see now that the image is a lot crisper than what it was before. You can see more details in the eyes, the lips, and the skin. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a mask one more time with black, holding down the Option key. I'm just going to paint in the areas that I want it to be sharpened on. So I'm going to go over the eyes. Make sure I'm painting with white. I'm going over the eyes. I'm going to go over the hair on the brows right here. I'm going to do the same over here as well. Make sure I do this eye. And now I'm just going to go over the lips as well. And that's looking a lot better now, guys. All I can do too, I'm going to just put a little bit more details in the hair over here. Just a little bit, not too much. And I think that looks really good, guys. And now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to merge the layer one more time. But as a matter of fact, I don't need to do that. I'm going to use one more thing that I have to get some skin color. I'm literally just grading it right now. So what I'm going to do, before I come here, I have this. I'm going to go to color lookup. I'm going to change opacity on the layer to about 35%. Now all I'm going to do is just click on 1. And what that does, it gives a really nice, grungy kind of feel. I think it's a little bit strong. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to back it off. I'm going to put it to about 24%. Let's zoom out. Let's look at the before, after, and I think that looks really nice, guys. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add another color variant to this. That's a grading. I'm going to click on Beauty 1, the top one, and you'll see it look like that. And I'm going to go and click on 6. And what that does, it kind of neutralizes a little bit of the first Beauty 1. And you can see here, if I group these two layers, I'm just going to group them. You can see what the before and after looks like. And I think that looks really, really nice, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And what I'll do next now is I'm just going to add a little bit of highlight to her skin. So I'm going to come back to the Tamara Williams here, and I'm going to click on highlights over here, as you can see. So you can do you can do skin, highlight, or shadows. We're just focusing on highlight right now. I'm just going to click on that. I'm going to click on L for the lasso tool. And I'm going to hold down my Option key. I'm just going to make sure I'm not selecting areas that I don't want. That's all I'm doing right now, guys. Because all I want to do is just focus on the face only. And I think that looks really good. And now all I'm going to do with that selected, I'm going to go to my adjustments and then go to curve. And now all I can do, I can just increase that a little bit. It's a little strong. If you notice the edges are a little bit sharp, I'm just going to go over here and just feather it a little bit. So it's a little bit softer. But for me, it's a little bit too strong. I'm going to go to 50%. And all I'm going to do too is just going to paint in the areas that I would like it to see it on the model's face right there. And I think that's looking pretty good. I'm going to press X on the keyboard just to kind of take it away from areas that I don't want it to be. Just like that. Just like that. And I think that looks pretty good. Let's zoom out and see. It's a little strong. I'm going to take it down to 25. It's got a before and after. Good. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit in the shadows now. So I'm going to do the same thing. Go to shadows. Wait for it to do its thing. So now you can see that it has done the shadows. And all I'm going to do now is the same thing. I'm going to go to adjustments, curves. And you can see what it has done, which is nothing yet. And all I'm going to do, if I go like this now, you can see the shadows go all the way down. But I'm going to do the same thing. Is all I'm going to do now is just paint away the areas that I would prefer. So all I'm going to do now is just like this with my brush on black. I'm just going to paint away the areas that I don't want it to darken. Like so. Because I want to see a little bit more details in the shadows a little bit more, especially in the hair, right there. Just like that. And let's look at it now. Let's look at it before, after, before, after. And this has been just a couple minutes, guys. And we have really done, a really good job. But I can see a few areas that are a little bit too strong in terms of the highlights. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to go to dodge and burn. I'm going to go global and I'm going to go to my mid darkening, select my the B on the keyboard. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint away the areas that I really don't want it to be on because it's a little bit too strong for me. And I'm just going to paint this away, just like that. Just like that. Right here. Just like that. And then now I'm going to go to the mid brightness. I'm just going to brighten this area right here. Just like that. So that way that the gradation from the highlights and the shadows are a little bit more smoother. Just like that. And I think that's looking really good, guys. So this is what I'm saying, guys. When it comes on to using the AI for helping you to edit, just think of it in terms of it's limiting the amount of work that you have to do so you can actually move on to something else that you would like to do because it eliminates the time that you take to edit your pictures. And that's one thing I really enjoy about using, AI. And this is looking really good, guys. I'm just going to darken these little areas right here on our lips. This one here, that there. I think that's looking really good. That's really nice. So let's zoom out now. And I think we have done a really good job, guys. I'm just going to darken here. I don't like the highlights here on the edge of the hair. And also here. Let's darken that too. Remember, I'm just going really fast just in case for YouTube, guys. And I think we have done a really good job over here, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Beautiful. So I think we're pretty much done, guys. I'm just double click on the hand tool. So let's look at the before and after one more time. Before, after, before, after. That to me, guys, is a really good job. So if you guys enjoy that, guys, smash that like button, guys. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.